Hi, welcome along to the Don Robbie channel. The man is back in the building. The main man when it comes to transfers, Fabrizio Romano. Welcome along.
Hello, my friend. Always be a pleasure. Thank you for the invitation and ready to answer your questions.
You know what, Fabrizio, when we did last week's show, I got to hand it to you. And this is why we get you on here, because you are an expert. You know what you're talking about.
You.
You said last week, look to this week. It's going to start getting really, really busy. You said that there's going to be some big things starting to happen, that where all of a sudden the transfer market starts to get a bit mad and things start to fall into place, and there's that sort of domino effect around the place. Yes. And you've been absolutely spot on.
Thank you.
First of all, let's start off with Harry Kane, right? The big shock, or was it a shock? But it was either going to go one or two ways. Again, another thing you predicted, right, is that you said when Harry Kane comes back is when we're going to find out where his head's at, what he's thinking. He's come back. He's refused to go into the training ground and get the COVID test and play. He didn't play in the friendly for Tottenham against Chelsea. And now, you know, nobody knows what's happening with his future.
Yes.
What are you hearing?
Yeah, the situation with Harry Kane is really particular, I would say, because as you said, I was expecting this kind of situation, to be honest. Maybe not showing up at the training, but of course something to be discussed between the player and Tottenham board, because the situation is really not happy for Harry Kane. He wants to change. He's convinced that since 1 year ago he had an agreement with the club to have the opportunity of trying something new. So that's why the player is not happy. And from player side, they are convinced that Tottenham were prepared to this kind of situation. Now what I'm hearing is that the player in the coming days will be back at training. So we will see what happens in the direct meeting with the board. Will be the first meeting with Nuno, the first meeting with Fabio Paratici, and of course will be another meeting with Daniel Levy. But they need to decide together now, because going to fight with the club is not the best way to do it. So that's why they're going to discuss now, and they're going to try to find a way, because Harry Kane wants to play Champions League football. Manchester City is the biggest opportunity for him, so that's why he wants to go to Manchester City. But now from City they have Jack Grealish, and now they're going to wait. They're going to wait some days to see if Tottenham will change their position. They will be ready to jump in the deal. If not, they will continue like this. They will continue quiet and see what happens in the coming days. So their strategy is to wait. They have Jack Grealish now, and they can wait a bit and see what happens. If Tottenham will open to sell Harry Kane, they will be ready to jump again in the deal.
What sort of money do you think Tottenham will accept? Because this just looks to me like, how can they have him back after this? You know, he's kind of refused to play. Even if he does come back, he's not coming back with his mind focused upon playing for Tottenham, is he?
Yes.
So
in this kind of situation, in my opinion, the best thing for every party involved is to sell the player, because you, as you said, maybe it's the best also for Tottenham now. So talking about money, to be honest, I don't know how much they can ask, because when Manchester City more than 1 month ago, they offered £100 million, they were also available to include some players in the negotiation. And from Tottenham was a total no. They say, no, we have no intention to accept £100 million. And the same for players. They don't want to include any player in the negotiation. So that's why, and we're talking about players like Laporte, like many others, like Gabriel Jesus also was potentially included in the deal. And they said no. So I think it has to be a crazy amount of money if nothing are going to change between Tottenham, Daniel Levy and Harry Kane.
And just as we're on Man City, the talk's been that to finance the Grealish deal and the Harry Kane deal, that they're looking to offload a few players, and Bernardo Silva seems to be that guy that will be the one that will leave.
Yes, it's a possibility. It's not an advanced situation yet from what I'm told, but it's a possibility for the coming days. Let's see what happens maybe with Atletico Madrid. We have a lot of rumors with Atletico Madrid, but it depends on Saul. If Saul will believe in the club, maybe they will try to do something else with quality players, and Bernardo could be an opportunity. Let's see, because they are considering this kind of chances, and also other Spanish clubs are keen on Bernardo Silva. So he could have some opportunities in the coming days. And yes, I expect he could be one of the players to leave Manchester City if they receive the right bid, because at the moment, as I said, it's not advanced yet.
So Niguez, you were just talking about there, he's been heavily linked with a move from Atletico Madrid to Liverpool.
Yes, many links about it, and it's true that Liverpool have an interest in the player, as many other English clubs calling Atletico Madrid to understand what's going to happen with this player. But it depends, first of all, to see if the swap deal with Griezmann will definitely collapse. At the moment, it's really quiet. They have no agreement, so the situation is so quiet, but it's not 100% collapsed yet. So they're waiting to see if it collapses. For sure, they will be ready to jump in a deal for Saul if they find the right opportunity, because at the moment, Atletico Madrid want around 40-45 million euro for Saul. And I think in the list of Liverpool, he's one of the names, but not the only name. I will keep an eye also on other players, on other opportunities. I would include also Renato Sanchez in this list for Liverpool. So they are waiting for the opportunity. They are not signing the player right now. They are waiting for some days, maybe some weeks at the end of the window to find the right opportunity. So that's why Saul is a possibility, but I won't say an advanced negotiation at the moment.
Okay, well, this next one, I'm sure you would have been hearing all about this one as you live over there in Italy. And you're in Milan.
Yes.
Lukaku. As a matter of fact, there's two players in Milan that have been subject to a lot of transfer talks. So first of all, Lukaku to Chelsea. And then the other one is Lautaro Martinez linked with moves to Arsenal. Let's talk about like Lukaku first. Because it seems like you said it the other day, one or the two of them is going to go.
Yes. I wanted to say this. It's Lautaro or Lukaku. Both players are not leaving Inter this summer. Impossible. So, yes, it's one or the other. But in this moment, I go with Lukaku.
You think Lukaku would be the one who goes?
Yes. Because at the moment, the situation with Lukaku is really serious with Chelsea. They made an official bid for 100 million euro and Marcos Alonso in the negotiation. And Inter were saying no. They were trying to keep the player because many times in public, also with the manager, the CEO, they say Romelu is untouchable. We are not selling Romelu and these kind of things. But then now Chelsea are prepared to make a new official bid. It will be, from what I know, around 130 million euro. So it will be an important bid, really important. Would be the most important player to be sold from the Serie A, the most important one for the Premier League. So it would be a mad one for Chelsea. And that's why, in a positive way, of course, and that's why Inter now are really prepared to sell Romelu Lukaku if this bid will arrive. So that's why my feeling is that there are huge chances to see Romelu Lukaku to Chelsea. It's not done yet, but there are huge chances also because they are offering to the player an important contract, important salary for 12 million euro net per season. So with plus bonus, so they're offering a lot of money to the player, a lot of money to Inter, and that's why the situation is going to maybe change in the coming days with Lukaku close to join Chelsea. It's not done yet, but there are huge chances for Lautaro Martinez. If Lukaku is going to leave, Inter are spending some of the money they are receiving from Lukaku also to extend Lautaro Martinez's contract, and they can't sell both their top players in the same summer. So that's why I think that the situation with Arsenal is also really quiet. They were inquiring about Lautaro Martinez, but as I said, it was really difficult also by player side because he wants to play the Champions League and this kind of thing. So it was not an easy one for Arsenal, and same for Atletico Madrid, because also Atletico Madrid were keen on Lautaro Martinez. But if Lukaku will go to Chelsea, and now there are huge chances, I think it will be really difficult for Lautaro to leave Inter.
I would have, you're over there in Italy. I mean, fans, he's their star player. Lukaku said he wanted to stay. I mean, how are they reacting to it?
No, they are furious. They're furious with the club because from the club, they said many and many times he's untouchable. He's the key player. We need to keep Lukaku. We will continue with Lukaku. And also Lukaku, when he was coming back, he said, I'm happy here. I want to stay here. So no one was expecting this kind of situation, to be honest. It's an important bit, and we have to consider that also we are in post-COVID situation. So this kind of bit is really a huge one. But Inter fans are furious. They didn't want Lukaku to leave. He's the star of Serie A now, and he was acting like the king of Milano many times. So that's why the fans weren't expecting Lukaku to leave and weren't expecting the club to accept this kind of situation. They were expecting the club to say no to any bid for Romelu Lukaku. That's the situation, and that's why Inter fans are really furious, and now they're thinking of Duvan Zapata, Atalanta striker, as potential replacement for Lukaku.
Just quickly before we move on to the next target, but why is it that the Italian club, like a club like Inter Milan, everybody's shocked over here in the UK because they're like, you won the league last year.
Yes.
You've got all these great players, and now you're selling the players that won you the league in Lukaku and
Inter,
Hakimi. Why are you selling these players?
They are really in trouble by financial point of view, my friend. Inter are in trouble. They had many problems also in the last season. So the truth is that they are in trouble after pandemic. Inter have a Chinese ownership, and they can't spend money in football after COVID because of the government decision in China. And that's why Inter are now in trouble by financial point of view. They were needing to sell players. Here in Italy, we were convinced that with Hakimi it was fine. Okay, they resolved the problem for this year, and then let's see what happens in the future. But when they receive this kind of bid for Lukaku, if Chelsea will arrive to 120, 130 million euro, they have to consider this kind of bids, because by financial point of view, they are really, really in a difficult situation. Also with the salaries of the player this season, okay, they won the Scudetto, but they had many problems on this side. And that's why Inter are prepared to sell Lukaku if Chelsea will bid for 120, 30 million euro.
Wow, lots of money, lots of money. The other one, the other big one that a lot of people are talking about at the moment is James Madison. Potential move from Leicester to Arsenal.
Yes, it's a possibility. It's a serious possibility. I can say that Leicester, from what I know, are not interested in considering swap deals or these kind of things. So at the moment, there is nothing on swap deals, but there is a strong interest from Arsenal. So Madison is a serious option for Arsenal. And I keep saying that also Martin Odegaard from Real Madrid is a serious option, because they love the player. And if Real Madrid will change their position in the coming days and say maybe, okay, we are prepared to sell the player or to offload the player again, Arsenal will be ready also to pay to sign the player on a permanent deal. So Odegaard is always in the list, but Madison is a serious option. They love the player. And when I say they, it's about the board, it's about Arteta. All people involved in the club like the player and convinced he would be perfect for Arsenal. The big problem is that Leicester, they are not in a rush to sell the player. He has a long-term contract. They want more than 60, 65 million pounds. So they have to offer a lot of money to sign Madison. My feeling is that it would be really difficult to sign this player for Leicester. Let's see. Arsenal will try. Arsenal are interested, but keep in mind also the name of Odegaard, because his comeback to Arsenal is a possibility.
With the Odegaard thing, because he had gone back as... me as an Arsenal fan, I know that he'd gone back. He was saying that, he penned a letter when he was leaving saying, goodbye, Arsenal fans. Yes. Thank you for everything. Arsenal, yeah. But again, another club in Real Madrid and Barcelona as well over there in Spain that have got that similar situation like Inter Milan, where lots of financial trouble.
Yes. They are in financial trouble. Real Madrid, as Florentino Perez said many times during the Super League crazy days, they need to sell players, and they did it with the salary of Sergio Ramos, with Rafael Varane, and that's what they're doing. So let's see what happens with Odegaard, but they need to sell players. Barcelona are in trouble more than Real Madrid, because big problem for Barcelona is about the salaries of the players. They have many and many players with enormous salaries, and now they need to get rid of this player as soon as possible.
Okay. Tammy Abraham as well. Again, another player's kind of involved in the merry-go-round, because if Lukaku comes in,
yes,
surely he goes. But there was talk that he could go to Aston Villa, but now they've bought, Danny Ings.
Yes.
So where's he going to end up? Could he be at Arsenal or West Ham?
Arsenal and West Ham have asked for a player. Arsenal have not made an official bid. Despite rumors, they are interested in the player, but no official bid at the moment. He's a possibility, I would say, for Arsenal. Also, West Ham have asked for the player, but they are now waiting from Chelsea, because Chelsea prefer to sell the player to foreign clubs, so abroad, because they prefer to keep the player in another country, as they are convinced that he will be a future top player. That's why they prefer to sell the player if they can abroad. And that's why Atalanta are really keen on Tammy Abraham, because now they are looking what happens with Lukaku. But if Lukaku goes to Chelsea, Inter will go on Duvan Zapata, Atalanta striker, paying around 35, 40 million euro, and Atalanta ready to pay 40 million euro for Tammy Abraham. So that's why this domino could be the interesting one also for Chelsea, to sell Tammy and to sign Lukaku. And Tammy will be an interesting opportunity for Atalanta, because they want always young players. So this is the domino. We will see in the coming days. During the weekend, Atalanta board will be in London. On Sunday or Monday, they will have a meeting with Chelsea, and they will decide on Tammy. But it's a serious possibility.
Wow, that would be some switch. Talking to Italy, Locatelli, what's happened? That's gone quiet, isn't it? Oh,
yeah, it's gone quiet.
Yes. I was reading the other day that he's getting a bit annoyed now with Juventus. As we know, Arsenal wanted him, other clubs wanted him, but Juventus is where he wants to go. But apparently, that's not going too smoothly.
Yes, it's low. It's a bit slow because Juventus know that the player wants to go and the player wants to go only to Juventus. But at the moment, they have still no agreement with Sassuolo. In the last meeting, Juventus were offering the same money they offered in the first meeting. That's why the situation is still this low and Sassuolo are not so happy with this bid. But I'm told that they are still in contact. So Juventus are still hoping to do this Locatelli deal. They are working on it. And I'm also told that at the moment, Arsenal are not pushing Kane. So they know that the player wants to go to Juventus and they're focusing on different things. So that's why I don't see Locatelli joining Arsenal this summer.
Okay, Kounde, Jules Kounde of Sevilla. Again, another player linked with Chelsea. Chelsea looking to spend a lot of money this summer. Is that still going to happen?
They are in talks for him. As I said also last week, they're working on it. They were including Zuma as part of the negotiation, but they have no agreement with Sevilla on the value of Zuma because Sevilla want 45 million plus Zuma in the deal. Chelsea are offering 30 million euro or 35 with add-ons, but with Zuma. So the value of Zuma is the problem at the moment in the negotiation. Let's see in the coming days. Now they are focusing on Lukaku, but I think the next one could be Kounde because they want to sign him with Zuma, without Zuma, with a different way, but they want to sign him because they consider him as a perfect player, and he has an agreement on personal terms with Chelsea on a 5 years contract, so he's ready to join Chelsea. It's about the two clubs. I think in the coming days after the Lukaku saga, we'll have the final answer.
And finally, the one that we've been thinking to ourselves could be, as well as the Harry Kane one, the big one this summer, although Lukaku now is the big one as well, but Mbappe going to Real Madrid. I mean, we've already spoken about the lack of funds that Real Madrid have, but this is still getting talking about. He hasn't yet penned a new deal with PSG.
Yes. At the moment, there is no agreement. There is no agreement between Mbappe and Paris Saint-Germain as of now.
So do you think he could go to Real Madrid this season?
I think it's really, really difficult, to be honest, that this summer Mbappe leaves Paris Saint-Germain. I think it's really, really complicated. What I can say is that Real Madrid are obsessed with Mbappe. They dream of Mbappe, they love Mbappe, they are obsessed with Mbappe since many years and also now. And so if Paris Saint-Germain will change their position in the last days of the window, not now, but maybe in the last days of the window, and will make Mbappe available on the market for an important price, Real Madrid will be 100% ready to jump in a deal and to sign Mbappe. So it's up to Paris Saint-Germain more than Real Madrid, because Real Madrid are ready. When they have the opportunity to sign Mbappe, they will go to sign Mbappe. So if Paris Saint-Germain...
How much will it be? How much? Because if you said Harry Kane, you're saying significant. Well, we're hearing 130 million. Lukaku, that's probably going to be about 110 million or 100 million, right? Mbappe, really and truly, his pedigree
he's out of contract next year. He's out of contract next year.
Yeah,
that's why.
Out of contract next, so it may make it a little less, but he is a lot younger than both of those two, isn't he?
Yes, but that's why I don't see any fee less than 100 million euro or 120 million euro. Also, if he's out of contract in 6 months, he can sign with another club now officially. So imagine what kind of situation it is. But at the moment, from Paris Saint-Germain, they are not allowing him to leave. So that's why the situation is still quiet on Real Madrid's side. But if Paris Saint-Germain will change their position, or if Mbappe will be a free agent next summer, Real Madrid will be 100% in the race because they love the player and they want the player.
These 100 million here, 100 million there.
Yeah, it's incredible.
Crazy money this summer for some of the real top players, and we ain't even thinking about Haaland. We Haaland in the mix next season probably as well. It's crazy.
Yes. We'll be crazy for Haaland.
It's crazy. Well, listen, Fabrizio, thank you very much. I know you're really busy at the moment.
Thank you.
Look forward to talking to you next week. Find out what's happening with Kane and Lukaku, and it's going to be crazy.
Don't worry. We will do it. Don't worry.
All right. Thank you very much.